Welcome to this presentation of UPSL Soccer Action, live on YouTube and presented by the Atlantic Soccer Media Group.
Good afternoon and welcome to Silverbacks Park for this UPSL National Playoff Southeast Region Quarterfinals. St. Louis City SC Academy taking on Florida Premier. At this time, if you can, please rise for the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome into Atlanta Silverbacks Park. A sunny Saturday here in January, but a very cold afternoon for the UPSL Southeast quarterfinal between St. Louis City SC's Academy and Florida Premier. Alongside Jessica Charman, I'm Jason Longshore. And Jess, playing in these kinds of conditions, maybe you're not too much of a stranger to it. How can it affect a match like today?
I think you have to try and avoid it having an effect on you. You can't focus on what you can't control. It's cold. We can't control the weather, but what we can control is our mindset. We've got to be positive. I do think this weather favors one of the teams in this matchup, and that's St. Louis, who are probably less unfamiliar with the cold than the team that's traveled all the way from Tampa in Florida Premier. But Jason, you just got to let the ball do the work. You've got to put your gloves on. We're seeing lots of gloves, lots of Under Armour. These guys are prepared and ready to play.
Third year for St. Louis City SC's Academy team. They've played in MLS Next as well as UPSL. 3 homegrown signings for the club. One of them is in the lineup today. Tyson Pierce, number 12, playing on the left side. 16 years old from St. Charles, Missouri. He's been part of the U.S. Youth National Team pool and has 3 appearances with St. Louis City, 2 in MLS Next Pro. For the team from Tampa in the all-black, Florida Premier, a team that's been in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup many times in the qualifying rounds. Keep an eye on number 6 for Florida Premier, Tomas Londono. High school junior, Colombian-American, has been on trial with clubs in Spain. Florida Premier will be kicking off and moving from right to left on your screens in the all black. Let's kick it for 45 minutes from Silverbacks Park in Atlanta. A few technical difficulties. We'll get that graphic off. We'll keep you posted on everything going on right now as Florida Premier plays along over the top. In addition to the cold, Jess, there is a good bit of wind. Kickoff temperature says it's 30 degrees, says it feels like 20. The wind will have an effect as much as the cold.
It does, alongside with the turf here at Silverback Stadium as well. It's a great turf field, but as anyone that's played on turf knows, it adds that level of unpredictability in there. From the goalkeeper perspective, you don't want to let the wind or the bounce have an impact on you today. Getting clean touches early on is always helpful. Two
young teams, essentially a U19, maybe U18 game. A number of high school players, some have already committed to colleges, and as I mentioned, a couple of players who have already been in the professional pathway for St. Louis City's academy team. They're in the all-white, moving from left to right. St. Louis trying to bring it down, get some control in the middle. Very frantic early start to this as Florida Premier wins it back momentarily. St. Louis City, we know as a club, very aggressive, going to press. Foul called there. It'll be a free kick for Florida Premier, but Jess, that was one of our questions coming in. How much will this academy team, essentially St. Louis City 3, how much will they look like St. Louis City 1? I
think both you and I have had the opportunity with Charlotte FC and Atlanta United respectively to see how when you have an academy team that's playing the system, it's so helpful for those players that are going to make that jump up, that they're used to the style of play. We are seeing St. Louis with one player left high up the field at all times and a little bit of pressing, so we'll see how that transpires throughout the rest of the match.
Played into the 18, headed away. St. Louis trying to get control of it in the middle third. They do through Tyson Pierce. Nowhere to go down that left side. St. Louis wants to try the right. That does find a home to get to Kai Yeager. Yeager back across to the left. The Floridians come away with it momentarily.
But what's interesting is a lot of the time in a big matchup like this, you see teams a little bit more reluctant. Neither team reluctant here.
Chipped across, opportunity for St. Louis. They're going to get a possible corner. Yes, they will. Early corner for St. Louis City. They had the longer trip to get here, and they're going to get rewarded with an early corner.
Great interception, though, by Hernandez, and we'll get another look at that phase of play here. It's a good move from St. Louis as they try to ticky-tacky soccer that ball over to this right-hand side. The chip forward. Hernandez here commits well. Can't save the corner.
Flipped over looking for Anthony Faupel on the right side. Didn't get to him, but the corner is earned. St. Louis into the 18. Nice touch to turn the corner. Well defended. Kai Yeager denied at the edge of the 6.
You see a well-organized set piece there from St. Louis with two splitting passes to create the opportunity. Florida doing a very good job of staying alert and stepping to the challenge, but they do concede a second corner.
Yeager, the right-sided player for St. Louis, is already committed to St. Louis University. He's been on the ball quite a bit here early on. In-swinging corner from the near side. Played to the back post. Well defended once again by Florida. Half volley over the bar. Goal kick, Florida Premier.
Yeager just rushes that one a little bit, goes for glory with the volley. It's a difficult technique, just gets underneath it. But again, St. Louis displaying a bit of versatility in their set pieces. This one a lot deeper. Florida Premier unable to clear it convincingly. Yeager pops in and tries to get the worldie.
Florida building out of the back off the goal kick. Flicked on in the middle third, but St. Louis wins it back. Try to get forward quickly. Can't find a home there. Throw on the far side for Florida. St. Louis regains possession. Driving out of the back. That one's a little bit too much for Yeager to get to.
Just seeing Yeager, a continual target, though, for this side. They're wanting to spring him forward and try and get him in promising areas where he's able to utilize service into the box.
Hernandez with the throw. Ends up finding Ortiz. Brought back.
The one thing Florida is struggling with right now, Florida Premier, is they are pushing everybody forwards back to defend. So when they do regain possession, they're unable to have that outlet. You saw it with that last phase of play where they do regain possession, but they can only clear it long, and they've got no target forward to try and gain a little bit of momentum with the ball.
St. Louis swinging it from right to left. It's a very young MLS academy in St. Louis, but one that is already producing players for that professional pathway. You're going to see some of these players make that jump alongside Tyson Pierce as well. Florida Premier, they're also developing their fair share of talents. Quite a few players in this Florida Premier side, part of the ECNL All-Conference team. Aiden Sharmer made it to the national selection game for ECNL back in December. Pierce battling for it, but St. Louis swarming the ball. They forced the turnover. Good square ball to the left. Opportunity here, right-footed shot, took a deflection, comfortable save for Montague.
But you asked me earlier, would St. Louis play the way that their MLS team does? In that phase of play you saw, yes, they will. 3 players pouncing on the Florida Premier midfield, putting them under pressure, instantly releasing the ball forward and trying to have a successful counter.
Header won by Braden Benner. Jaeger on it on the right side. Touched away from him by Sharmer. Hernandez. Pressure high from St. Louis, a hallmark of St. Louis City. Ortiz with a flick, no call. Benyer. One back by Stuart Vig. Florida Premier just can't break through this press from St. Louis. Ball turns over. St. Louis City forces their pressure up high to win it back quickly.
Every loose ball is falling to St. Louis right now. They're positioning themselves well. They're fighting for the possession. And right now, if you're Florida Premier, you're learning that you have to adjust in that back line. You can't play with the fire of St. Louis as they press forward, trying to create dispossessors in dangerous areas.
Good pressure on the flip side there from Christian Ortiz to force that one out for a St. Louis throw. We are seeing St. Louis comfortable working it across their back line.
I think it's a hybrid when you think about it, because a lot of times when you talk about teams being high pressing and direct and physical, you don't focus on possessional play, but St. Louis is able to press when it's right, but also has that natural ability on the ball to move it when it calls for it.
And they're rotating as well. Pierce over on the right side now. Jaeger involved, as is Falpel. Impressive start so far for St. Louis, and that's something that we talk about a lot, Jess, with teams and identities within clubs. I think you see straight away this is a St. Louis team, but this group of players specifically has a few different things to offer than the second team and the first team.
And it's important to do that because you can't force square pegs into round holes. When you've got players that have that ability to move the ball, you don't want to force them into playing just one way. It's great to have flexibility and different strings to your bow.
Big switch over to the right to Falpel. Falpel to Jaeger inside the 18. Cuts it back across on the ground. That's canceled out by Florida Premier. Good attempt to turn there. Not enough for the foul. Our referee was looking at the AR the whole time. Not enough contact there to draw the foul. Throw St. Louis.
I think we've seen that bar held pretty high from the referee so far. Very few fouls, allowing physicality play, and you want that in a game like this. You want the guys to be able to play, to throw in challenges, to be competitive, and only step in when 100% necessary for those fouls to be called.
St. Louis showing a little patience in their build-up, working it across the back line. Benyer, the 17-year-old, also committed to St. Louis University. Back across to the left. Opportunity here for St. Louis as they enter into the final third. Into the 18. That's canceled out by Clamp. St. Louis, though, with the intense pressure to try to win it back. Can't quite pull it off this time. Nice defending to block off the run of Ortiz. Enough contact there to block the run, but not commit the foul by Benyer.
Really good positioning by Benya there, and does enough in order to shield it back to his goalkeeper. But we're seeing a little bit more of Christian Ortiz now. We're seeing him handle himself in that top of the situation and be an outlet in moments for Florida Premier.
Ortiz blocks that pass from Benya. Ortiz, a high school senior from Port Richey, Florida, wearing the number 10 for Florida Premier.
It's going to be a lot of thankless running in moments for Ortiz, but he has to lead that line and be an outlet if Premier are going to get any opportunities up top.
Jaeger drops it back to Benya. Swung over to the left side. Nessel lets it go. Back across to Benya. Jaeger. Nice pressure from Sharmer. Benya through the center circle. St. Louis connecting the dots. Back to Kai Jaeger.
So patient from St. Louis as well, the way they're moving the ball, and great communication as well, seeing them understand where they want the ball to go.
Mikey lay across to Pierce. Pierce up the line on the left, gets it back. Pierce to the end line. Goal kick, last touch came back off of Tyson Pierce.
Really love that run from Tyson Pierce, though, with the 1-2 give and go. Finds himself in a great area. We'll get another look at that phase of play here. Pierce always looking to take that player on and then make the aggressive run forward. That shows he's got that freedom, even as a defensive player, the freedom in this system to get into dangerous areas and create overloads in the attacking third for St. Louis.
That's what's so impressive about Pierce. We've seen him on the back line as a fullback in this setup. We've also seen him pop through the middle. It's been a little bit of everywhere. The fluidity of St. Louis City, very impressive in the early going.
And you know, as a defensive player, so difficult when there is that fluidity because you never know who you're going to have to pick up. You don't get used to marking one player with the same traits, with the same aspects. You're always forced into defending different individuals as they overload forwards.
Pierce right now sitting in front of the back line. Benya. Jaeger. Took a deflection. Florida able to clear. Benya settles it at midfield. Tripped up by Ortiz, but St. Louis keeps him moving. Netzel over across, deflected. Headed forward by Delkus. Sharmer. Florida just can't get many touches in a row. St. Louis forced the turnover once again.
Feels like Florida just needs to release the ball a little bit quicker. They're going to have to adjust to this frantic pace. You might have to release it on a quicker give and go. 2 touches, release the ball to evade that press.
Jaeger gets to it first. The 1-2 with Faupel. Jaeger cuts inside. Delkus. Denied. 3 Florida players there to shut the door on Delkus. Tried to go over the top that time for Ortiz. Just a little bit too much on it.
I think Ortiz might have gone a little bit too early as well, which is why he didn't continue his run in that position. But he is being left 2-on-1 in opportunities. If they can find him making that breakaway run, if he times it correctly, could be a dangerous through ball for Ortiz to pounce on.
Florida tried to play through the pressure that time. They almost win it back, but not quite. Mikey Lay. Delkus back into the middle. Boykin. Delkus wants to run this one down, but not enough real estate for him to do that. Goal kick for Braden Montague.
Good work from Camacho there, just to use his body to shield it out of play, to give Florida Premier that little bit of respite from the goal kick.
14th minute, heading into the 15th minute here in Atlanta. UPSL Southeast quarterfinal, the first quarterfinal of the weekend. The winner will move on to the UPSL semifinals in California in February. St. Louis City's Academy in the all-white facing Florida Premier in the all-black. Feels like about 20 degrees here at Silverbacks Park in Atlanta. St. Louis City feeling right at home so far. They've had more of the possession, more of the opportunities, and they're back in the attacking half now. Pierce drops it back. Over to Benier. Pierce skips past one. Lays it off. Looking for Faupel. Jaeger with a touch. Seems like every touch is falling St. Louis's way, even when Florida defends it well. This time they come away with it. Down the line, but not on the same page with Ortiz. Vig's pass is behind him.
Just a frustrating moment.
Sharmer almost creates the turnover for Florida. Now Florida able to step up and press a little bit. St. Louis playing through that nicely. Pierce out wide to the right to Jaeger, back to Benier.
It's just exhausting for Florida Premier right now with St. Louis moving the ball so tidily. Florida Premier having to put in a lot of lead work to stick with them.
Free kick for St. Louis. Delkus upended. This one's going to be about 30 yards out. Take another look at the foul. Delkus trying to get through traffic was brought down. But once again, St. Louis playing through pressure very well.
Really confident on the dribble as well. We get another look at the connection there. May have been a touch on the ball, but it's the fact that he's gone through the back of the player that's led to the referee pointing for the foul.
Set piece opportunity here for St. Louis. Florida setting their line right at the top of the 18. My math is mostly correct. It's about 31 yards out. Delkus puts it over the bar.
Just gets it all wrong there. You see in the body language after taking that strike that he knows he should have done better with that opportunity. You said 31 yards out. For me, probably better from that distance to try and connect with a teammate making a run in. It's going to take something glorious to beat a goalkeeper from that far out.
Braden Montague, a high school junior from Lutz, Florida. Plays it to midfield, was looking for Keegan Clamp, doesn't find him. Boykin down the left. Delkus able to run it down. Does he get the throw? Yes.
And you just got a glance in that last phase of play from Montague's goal kick. How quickly St. Louis transition forward. They form from a goal kick. They turn the pressure over and they have a 4v4 instantly flooding bodies forward. They are resilient and they are dominant in attacking and getting bodies forward.
Delkus drops it back. Played across the top of the 18. Faupel able to run it down, has Jaeger in support. Back to Benier, up the right side. Faupel inside to Pierce. Good ball from Pierce. Back for a corner, miss-hit clearance. I think Montague had it covered even though he had to scramble, but it's going to be a corner for St. Louis.
Just a miscommunication in the back line there. For me, Montague's got to be calling for that one and coming right away instead of forcing his defender into the sliced clearance away. That's the wake-up call that maybe they need, the communication between goalkeeper as he comes and defender as he swings to prevent having to defend another set piece.
Played into the top of the 6. Florida able to clear that one back to midfield. Run down by Jaeger. Back to his goalkeeper, Andrew Kohlberg. Headed to the right. Delkus will try to get there. Able to do enough to let that one go out, and last touches off of Florida.
And I think as we approach 20 minutes into this match, it's pretty clear that St. Louis has dominated in the categories in terms of attack, in terms of possession. But Florida Premier will take a lot of solace in the fact it's 0-0 on the scoreboard, and we haven't seen Montague forced into a high-level save at this point in the game. For all of St. Louis's pressure, for all of their possession, they haven't been able to create opportunities in front of net so far.
Yeah, when we talk about who's outplaying who, I think a lot of times we look to control and we look to who's creating the more dangerous opportunities. St. Louis has control, but neither team's really been dangerous as of yet.
Neither goalkeeper's truly been credited with a save on the stat sheet. That tells you a lot in terms of creating opportunities from the control in the match.
St. Louis trying to change that as they're in the attacking half. Clamp knocks it forward. Brought back. Advantage was played momentarily, but it didn't materialize. Free kick for Florida Premier.
And I think of the couple of glances we've had at Christian Ortiz up top, he could truly be a difference maker for Florida Premier if he's able to continue to play on that back last defender and get a couple of runs in on frame.
Adam Boykin chasing everything up top for St. Louis. It was a one-man press that time. Florida Premier able to get into the attacking half. Sharmer. Denier's there first, knocks it off of Sharmer. Going to be a throw for St. Louis.
It's good work by Sharma there to close down the ball and force it out for a throw-in instead of St. Louis being able to launch it forward.
Throw in St. Louis. Gloves are adjusted. Yeager can't keep it. Ortiz. Sharmer. Across to the right. Florida looking for an opportunity. Couldn't find it. Tyson Pierce breaks it up. Pierce breaks out around the right side. Runs through that tackle. No call. Florida down the left side. Overhit. Throw St. Louis. Pierce thought he was fouled there, but didn't get the call.
Again, it's that consistency from the referee. We haven't seen that level lead to a foul yet from the referee. The couple of fouls he's called have been for big challenges coming in from behind.
Thrown in down the line over the head of Mikey Lay. Won by Hernandez. Boykin, always ever present with the pressure, forces the turnover. Delkis tried to get going through the middle. Flag is up on Ortiz.
Great challenge from Gonzalez, though, on the ground to create that opportunity, and that's the positioning of Ortiz I've been talking about for the first 20 minutes of this match. He's playing on that back shoulder, trying to get every little advantage he can with that through ball. There, jump the gun, just a margin, but if he can continue playing on the shoulder, there's going to be one where he's able to stay onside and get that through ball forwards.
Boykin chasing. He'll earn the throw. Camacho clears that out. Drop back to Netzel. Long diagonal. Too much. Montague will catch.
But I love that from the goalkeeper. We were talking at the last interception from the goalkeeper about his communication, about him not being vocal enough on that last ball. Even though he's unchallenged, you hear him from all the way up in our position yelling keepers. That's a really good adjustment from the goalkeeper to add the vocal nature to his game.
Montague with a long punt down the right side. Ortiz chasing. Gets to it. Can Ortiz make something happen here? Last touch off of Ortiz. Was trying to let that go and get either a throw or a corner. I think St. Louis knocked it back off of Ortiz.
Still a good position, though, to try and pin them in.
Headed away. St. Louis gains about 30 yards on that.
Would have liked to have seen Florida Premier a little quicker there to utilize the opportunity. Ortiz has done a lot of good work in that corner to get an opportunity to pin them in. Too easy in that moment for St. Louis to gain those 30 yards with the long throw. That shouldn't have been an avenue for them to go.
Those are the moments where in this kind of cold, maybe you're not as sharp of mind to realize that and step up and press. St. Louis, they know all about the pressing. Played forward. Anytime it turns over, St. Louis wins it back quickly. Pierce. A little 1-2. Back to Netzel. Thought about the big switch. Goes short to Benier instead. Back to Gavin Netzel. Another no call from our referee. Some contact, not enough to get the call. St. Louis wins it back. Pierce. Squared into the middle. Double team, falls to Boykin. What a tackle to prevent that shot.
It's Gonzalez again. That's 2 big crunching challenges he's won.
I didn't think he could get to that one, but he denied the shot. Here comes St. Louis through the middle once again, but Florida standing up tall. St. Louis win it back. Faupel on the right. Gets past 1. Cuts inside. Looks for the 1-2. Faupel leaves the leg in, commits the foul. Couldn't get to that return ball, and Florida Premier will have a free kick.
I think we're going back to that challenge from Gonzalez, though, here. And what's so impressive is he's on that touch line of the 18-yard box. He knows he has to get the challenge right. Otherwise, you're giving away a very dangerous set-piece opportunity. Goes to ground. Great tackle. And it's moments like that for Florida Premier that can be game-changing. You've seen Gonzalez now twice go to ground with big crunching tackles. If everyone else on the team can use that moment to give belief together, that can help them find a foothold in this match.
Montague into the middle third. Pierce won the initial header. That's saved on the line by Vig. Jaeger. One back by Gonzalez. Vig. Gonzalez, that was a tough one to control. St. Louis comes away with it. No call. We could hear that one up here. Thought that one might get called, but enough of the ball. One. St. Louis back on it again. Kai Pope. Down the left side. Turning the corner. Faupel. Volley wide.
Another very difficult technique there on the volley from Faupel. Would have taken a real connection. Getting a look here, though, at the build-up again from St. Louis. Moving the ball forward. That's actually one of the big challenges we saw where the referee gave no foul. But what's impressed me about St. Louis is their mature mindset. They may be disappointed to not be awarded a free kick here or there, but instantly, Jason, they're focused on getting the ball back. They're not there yelling at the referee, getting distracted by things they can't control. St. Louis's academy right now showing really high soccer intelligence and maturity to deal with the game in front of them and focus on winning the ball back, even when they're disappointed with calls from the referee.
Take another look at that volley attempt from Faupel. Would have been a goal of the year candidate. Instead, it's a goal kick. St. Louis through the middle, Florida Premier. Win it back, trying to turn that corner. Good recovery from Benyer. It was Asher Jones trying to get around the left side for Florida.
But that the first touch I think Kohlberg in goal has had for St. Louis City so far, and that's sharp from the keeper to come off his line and make that clearance as a goalkeeper when you are such a passenger in a game, when you are just sitting back in this cold weather watching. You have to make sure your brain stays alert so you're ready to come into play for action like that.
Pope tried to bring that down. Florida comes away with it instead. Nice first-time ball from Ortiz. Didn't find its home. Gonzalez down the line. Jones can't bring it down. St. Louis finds Pierce. One back by Sharmer. Nice defending from Florida. Swung across, Ortiz. Can't beat Kai Jaeger. Faupel turns it over. No call. Here comes St. Louis. It's been very consistent. It's a high bar for fouls being called, and that's gone both ways. Mikey Lay swings it over to the left. Back to Lay. 29th minute, no score. St. Louis on the ball in the attacking half. Kai Jaeger. Pierce. Great turn. Sharmer chasing him. Sharmer stabs in. That time he commits the foul. I think we're seeing the differences in the fouls that are called and the contact that is not called. Consistently, if you go through someone, you're getting that call. Other times, if there's a little bit of contact, referee's not calling it.
Yeah, he's just deciding what's won first, the ball or the player. He's not going to accept it if you win the ball through the player, but if you win the ball and then maybe catch a little bit of player afterwards, letting the game flow. It's been consistent, but anytime in a big game like this, you're going to hear criticism from fan bases because they're trying to get every little advantage they can in order to be the Southeast champions at the end of this match.
Chipped into the 18. Header popped up. Florida scramble it out of the 18, but not far. Falpel. Flag was up on the near side.
So it's one thing you can see from St. Louis, though. They're not afraid to pull the trigger. That one comes back to Falpel, and immediately he's trying to hit it one time along the ground. St. Louis given a lot of freedom to take their opportunities when they're given. Still yet to truly test Montague in goal, though, with those opportunities.
9 goals this year for Anthony Falpel. 3 games in MLS Next Pro with St. Louis City, too. Falpel will be headed to the University of Virginia in the fall. Sharmer. Drop back to Hernandez. Chase Smith. Squares it across. Camacho. Got knocked down by the wind. Sharmer went up for the header, but St. Louis comes away with it. Falpel. Can't skip past the double team. Sliding challenge from Kai Yeager. Forceful, won it. Throw for Florida Premier, though.
And it's a good win from Yeager. We haven't seen him called on too much defensively so far in this match, but when he has, he's done a very good job. A lot of Yeager's talents so far that have been on display have been in the attacking third, which goes to show how much freedom St. Louis have had going forwards in this system.
A little bit of a loose touch there from Matias Gonzalez. Some experience in previous Open Cup runs for Florida Premier for Gonzalez. High school junior from Land O'Lakes, Florida. Lay drops it back. Netzel over to the left. Pierce. Benyer up the right side to Yeager. Yeager cuts inside. Can't get past the second defender. Vig. 3 white shirts surround Vig on the touchline. He does earn a throw, though.
That's what makes it so difficult for Florida Premier when they're trying to build out how quickly they're swarmed by St. Louis colors, constantly having to try and resist the press of 2-3 players. We see it yet again, a sandwich. It's the double team in the organization of St. Louis when they're defending in order to create those defensive overloads and win back possession.
Lay over to the left, Nolan McGuire. Delkus. Delkus turns the corner, gets upended, is going to get the call. Is he? No, he's not.
Surprised by that one.
I thought that was being brought back for the foul.
I don't think there was an advantage there.
No.
And that's the issue that St. Louis will feel. We'll get another look here at how much of a foul it was. I think he catches his trailing leg, but maybe it's the way that he goes down, the motion of 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to get there.
Yeah.
Referee doesn't buy a ticket to that show.
Yeah, I think that's what made that call happen the way that it did. Collision from 2 St. Louis defenders, but they're still able to deal with it. Delkus this time gets the foul.
A little bit of afters there.
A little bit. Delkus thought he had earned a foul previously, didn't get it. I believe it was Londono who he was battling with on that side.
We'll get a glance at the
Another
battle
look
here.
at it. Yeah, there's a grab. There's enough there.
And I think the crowd wasn't happy about the jersey tug that followed as Delkus made sure that the referee had stopped the play for his foul.
I think you see the quality of this referee crew slowing things down, letting all that heat die down a little bit before allowing St. Louis to take the free kick. Kai Yeager. Turned over, Ortiz. Pulls it back. Nice patience from Ortiz. Sharmer up the left side. Stuart Vig. Vig cuts inside. Low shot, one hopper, saved by Kohlberg.
But first shot on target of the game, as far as I followed, goes towards Florida Premier. They may not have seen much of the ball, but they were able to utilize that possession in that moment to create an opportunity.
Stuart Vig from a program that you're very familiar with, spent some time at Lander University. Peach Belt Conference powerhouse Lander. Vig with the first shot of the game on goal. St. Louis trying to find an answer. Pearson Boykin can't connect. It's Florida with the long ball over the top. Ortiz can't win it the second time as Yeager heads it back to his goalkeeper Kohlberg.
Just hard for Ortiz there because he thinks he's going to get a look on, and immediately he turns, and there's two more St. Louis defenders behind him because of the organization and the way they recover. Even when you think you've beaten them, you've still got more players to get around.
Florida clear it back to St. Louis. They try to build up once again. Netzel. McGuire. Skips it over to Benyer. Pierce with a good first time ball out wide to Yeager. Benyer. Up the line, intercepted. Florida. Hernandez goes down. He's going to get the free kick. Opportunity here for Florida with an attacking half free kick.
And you just see there a little bit of disappointment between the back line as Foulpool had to dive in here. He bites in the challenge as there's just a bit of miscommunication. You've got three defenders around you. Does Foulpool need to stab then? Probably not. That should be a handoff. Instead, you've created an opportunity from the dead ball for Florida Premier. And last 5 minutes, Premier have looked a little bit more like they're growing into this match and enjoying some control.
Set piece opportunity for Keegan Clamp. Curls this one in, header wide off the back of the head. Going to be a goal kick.
Set pieces are going to become so important for Florida Premier in this match, though, if they don't enjoy much of the ball. For teams that can't see high levels of possession to create opportunities from the run of play, when you do get moments like that, you have to make sure you're on the same page. Wasn't a bad free kick. The run's made correctly, just couldn't connect to really force the goalkeeper into any sort of save.
Kohlberg plays the goal kick short. Looking for the speedster Delkus down the left. Florida Premier respects his speed. They clear it over the stands on that side. Jackson Delkus actually has his high school's record for the 100 meters, 11.72 100-meter time. It's pretty ridiculous for a winger on a soccer team to be running an 11.7.
Would like to see a foot race on that far side whenever he gets the opportunity, because he's going to feel pretty confident he's able to win it.
Benyer to Foulpool. Foulpool double teamed. Hernandez comes away with it. Gonzalez back across to Vig. Vig to the top of the 18. Sliced away. Yeager heads it up the line to Foulpool. Foulpool immediately double teamed. Vig can't turn the corner on Yeager. Yes, he does. Vig, inline, cross, gets through everybody. Delkus, great presence to play that back. But Gonzalez just continued through and blocked the pass back for Delkus. McGuire able to find his way out of trouble. Delkus can't. Frantic right here for Florida Premier. Asher Jones puts it wide of the near post.
But there's that momentum and growth we were just talking about for Florida Premier in that moment. We'll get another look on that far side of the battle that they were getting into. Physicality, strength, and giving a taste of their own medicine a little bit to St. Louis in that moment with the switch in the high press, forcing the mistakes out the back. I really like to see the growth of Vig on this far side, though. When he's getting involved in the attacking third, it's looking like Premier can make something happen.
Vig, one of the few players in this match over the age of 20. Showing a little bit of that experience, picking his spots, getting forward down the left for Florida Premier.
And it is that risk and reward balance, because if he goes forward too much, he's going to leave a lot of space that St. Louis will like to exploit when they go forward quickly. But he also can't sit back and defend all day. They need to be positive.
Delkus skipping through traffic. Foulpool lays it off, shot over the bar. Kai Pope, but a great build-up and mostly through the left winger, Jackson Delkus.
Yeah, Pope's going to be disappointed there. It sits up pretty nicely to him outside the 18 as we get a look at the speed of transition from St. Louis, how quickly they can turn from defense into attack. You see it here, just skips up maybe in front, and then he gets his body shape wrong, leaning back. But St. Louis, that probably their best looking transition forward for the best look.
St. Louis win it back in the center circle. They can't get control of it. Sharmer looking for it. Gonzalez will play it up the right side. Jones chasing. City clears. Battle for it at midfield. Pope comes away with it. Played through to Delkis. Delkis slips it off the post. Was it already out or no? Yes, it was already out on that in line. Delkis looked like he had beaten Montague. Get another look at it here. I think it came off, that's what it is. It came off the wheel on that post, so it was wide of the near post.
Montague does enough there. There was a moment where I thought he'd found himself in no man's land, but because he comes out, closes down that angle, there isn't as good of a look for the forward, and he's not able to steer it from that acute angle onto frame. Good work from Montague. Without making the save, he made it more difficult for the forward to convert.
Great work from Sharmer to bring that one down. Jones tries to give it back to him, but overhits it. Picked up by Kohlberg. Pierce, Netzel, 41st minute. Still no score here in the UPSL quarterfinal for the Southeast region. Jones goes down, no call. Camacho knocks that forward, but Florida can't claim it. Going to be a goal kick.
I think we're seeing some of the fatigue now for Florida Premier of all the hard work they've had to do to stick and stay with St. Louis and their press and their transition and how they're having to go box to box with the legwork.
Gonzalez takes it away from Pierce, chipped in. Vig, a little late to get there. Goalkeeper late to come for it as well, but last touch is off of Vig. Kohlberg did enough.
Did enough, but again, looking a little bit in the no man's land. We'll have a look at the decision making here. St. Louis trying to play through that press, and we talked about taste of your own medicine. It's great work from Florida Premier to press. For me, that was a moment where Kohlberg shows what it's like as a goalkeeper when you don't get many touches. He has that urgency, that determination to want to get his hands on the ball when he probably would have been better just sitting back and letting his defenders deal with it.
Delkis earns another free kick for St. Louis, foul by Camacho. Pierce the quick 1-2 with Netzel. McGuire making the long run down the left. He receives it. Delkis wants to spin back. Squares it. Cleared. Ortiz can't connect. Ends up finding its way to Florida anyway. Netzel, though, clears. Fatigue, the conditions, all kind of setting in here late in the first half a little bit.
Mental frost, minute. I think you described it earlier.
Pope, Boykin, back to Pope, knocked away from him. Sharmer. Back to Gonzalez. Ball is behind Ortiz. Benyer will run it down.
Just looks like Matias Gonzalez is struggling a little bit after a challenge there. He's trying to run it off, but that's a player that Florida Premier need to get back to full speed because he has been so important in that defensive midfield role.
That's the thing, too, when it's cold like this, it might not be a bad injury, but it just stings.
It's going to hurt for a long time.
He's able to knock that forward to Ortiz and earn a corner for Florida Premier. Gonzalez goes down trying to stretch. So it's not from a contact situation. He's going to be all right. Gonzalez has been involved in at least 3 or 4 big defensive duels that he's won. He's also been kickstarting the Florida Premier attack as well. Right now he's kind of lurking on the top of the 18. In-swinging corner for Florida. Played to the spot. Ortiz, I don't think he saw it till the last minute. Headed forward, easy catch for Kohlberg.
But this counter could be dangerous.
Kohlberg, though, popped it up. Delkis is kept in check, but he earns the foul. That's 3 in pretty quick succession that Delkis has earned. I think that was the warning there for the Florida defender, is it's been different defenders each time, but Delkus has been fouled 3 times in the last 10 minutes.
And we're seeing the head coach want an explanation for this as well. Just using his body was what the head coach was trying to describe. We're getting another look at that distribution from the goalkeeper. Wrong distribution there in that moment. Needed to bowl out the throw or try and get his hips over the side volley better, because once it went up in the air, it was always going to allow Florida Premier's defense an opportunity to transition.
Yeah, we go back to that call that wasn't given to Delkus, but he made a point of getting the referee's attention and trying to get that call. He's gotten 3 since that. Quick throw. Camacho knocks that out for another throw for St. Louis. Going into stoppage time now here in the first half. St. Louis in the attacking half. We'll see how much stoppage time we get. 1 minute. McGuire off the throw. Played into the middle, tackled away. Gonzalez, of course, with the tackle. But it's St. Louis back on it in the middle third. Netzel across to Yeager. See if St. Louis can manufacture one more opportunity here. Long diagonal. Delkus brings it down. Looks for the cutback. Pulls it off. Boykin pulls it back to his left. Laid off. Corner of the 18. Blocked. Cleared.
It's funny because we talked earlier about how important it was as Ortiz breaks forwards.
Ortiz is going to draw a foul. Does that get a yellow? Looks like it will, yes. Netzel will get that different kind of foul there. That yellow makes a lot of sense.
Makes sense because Ortiz has just 2 defenders to beat and he's charging forward. It was a necessary foul with the contact and the positioning. We're going to look here, though. I think St. Louis needed to pull the trigger earlier. I said they were trigger happy in the first part of the game. They're just trying to play it around. We get a look at the foul. And because Ortiz is in control of the ball and breaking forward, it's always going to be a yellow for breaking up that promising attack.
Netzel gets the yellow. Free kick here for Florida Premier. We're past the 1 minute. This is probably the last opportunity of the half. Driven to the top of the 18, comes up short, and that will do it for the first 45. Both teams have had opportunities. Both teams have had moments of control, but neither one has the breakthrough through the first half.
It's been a good matchup, though. Really even battle with different teams having different strengths. It's obvious St. Louis has had more of the possession, but Florida Premier, for me, more convincing when they have had attacks. 45 minutes to go. We got to get a winner somehow. It's going to be interesting to see how the second half matches up.
We'll talk about that second half here in just a bit. I don't know if you guys out there, depending on where you're watching, if you're Florida Premier fans, you probably don't need the hot chocolate. St. Louis folks, you do. We definitely do. So we're going to take a break here in Atlanta. No score in the UPSL quarterfinal between St. Louis City Academy and Florida Premier.
Hey, Coach, is your game going to be live streamed? Can't find a broadcast partner? I have the solution for you. It's time to contact the Atlantic Soccer Media Group. The Atlantic Soccer Media Group will provide you with the most extensive live coverage and affordable rates to bring your club's matches to your fans. So they will never miss any of the action.
Good ball laid off to that far side. Shot ripped. It's in! Dalton United at the death of the game! They go ahead, and this stadium is sent to raptures.
And bring them along with you as you raise the trophy.
Gentlemen, say it with them. They are the champions.
So what are you waiting for? For the best and easiest coverage, national exposure, attract sponsors, interact with your fans, work with scouts from around the world? Contact the Atlantic Soccer Media Group.
Some control in the middle. Very frantic early start to this as Florida Premier wins it back momentarily. St. Louis City, we know as a club, very aggressive going early.
But what's interesting is a lot of the time in a big matchup like this, you see teams a little bit more reluctant. Neither team reluctant here.
Chipped across, opportunity for St. Louis. They're going to get a possible corner. Yes, they will. In corner from the near side, played to the back post. Well defended once again by Florida. Half volley over. Pierce battling for it. But St. Louis swarming the ball. They force the turnover. Good square ball to the left. Opportunity here. Right-footed shot. Big switch over to the right to Falpel. Falpel to Yeager inside the 18. Cuts it back across on the ground. That's canceled out by Florida Premier. Cross to the left. Opportunity here for St. Louis as they enter into the final third. Into the 18. That's canceled out by Clamp.
As well, the way they're moving the ball and great communication as well, seeing them understand where they want the ball to go.
Mikey lay across to Pierce. Pierce up the line on the left. Gets it back. Pierce to the end line. Pierce out wide to the right to Yeager. Back to Benier.
It's just exhausting for Florida Premier right now with St. Louis moving the ball so tidily. Florida Premier having to put in a lot of lead work to stick with them.
Free. Back to Benier up the right side. Falpel inside to Pierce. Good ball from Pierce. Delkus tried to get going through the middle. Back to Gavin Netzel. Squared into the middle. Double team. Falls to Boykin. What a tackle to prevent that. Falpel on the right. Gets past one. Cuts inside. Looks for the 1-2. Falpel. Gonzalez has a tough one to control. St. Louis comes away with it. Again, Kai Pope. Down the left side. Turning the corner. Falpel. Volley wide. Swung across. Ortiz. Can't beat Kai Yeager. Falpel. Turns it over. St. Louis on the ball in the attacking half. Kai Yeager. Pierce. Great turn. Sharmer chasing him.
To win back possession.
Lay over the left. Nolan McGuire. Delkus. Made that call happen the way that it did. Collision from two St. Louis defenders, but they're still able to deal with it. Delkus this time turned over. Ortiz pulls it back. Nice patience from Ortiz. Sharmer up the left side. Stuart Vig. Vig cuts inside. Low shot. Benier. Up the line, intercepted. Florida. Hernandez back. But Gonzalez just continued through and blocked the pass back for Delkus. McGuire able to find his way out of trouble. Delkus can't.
And they go forward quickly, but he also can't sit back and defend all day. They need to be positive.
Delkus skipping through traffic. Falpel lays it off, shot over the bar. Battle for it at midfield. Pope comes away with it, played through to Delkus. Delkus slips it off the post.
They've had to do to stick and stay with St. Louis and their press and their transition and how they're having to go box to box with the legwork.
Gonzalez takes it away from Pierce, chipped in. Vig, a little late to get well. Right now he's kind of lurking on the top of the 18. In swinging corner for Florida. Played to the spot. Ortiz, I don't think he saw it until the last minute. Headed forward. Played to the spot. Ortiz, I don't think he saw it until the last minute. Headed forward. Easy catch for Kohlberg.
But this counter could be dangerous.
Kohlberg, though, popped it up. Delkus is kept in check, but pulls it back to his left. Laid off, corner of the 18. Blocked, cleared.
It's funny because we talked earlier about how important it was as Ortiz breaks forwards.
Ortiz is going to draw. Trying to bring it down, get some control in the middle. Very frantic early start to this as Florida Premier wins it back momentarily. St. Louis City, we know as a club, very aggressive, going early.
But what's interesting is a lot of the time in a big matchup like this, you see teams a little bit more reluctant. Neither team reluctant here.
Chipped across, opportunity for St. Louis. They're going to get a possible corner. Yes, they will. In corner from the near side, played to the back post. Well defended once again by Florida. Half volley over. Pierce battling for it. But St. Louis swarming the ball. They force the turnover. Good square ball to the left. Opportunity here, right-footed shot. Big switch over to the right to Falpel. Falpel to Yeager inside the 18. Cuts it back across on the ground. That's canceled out by Florida Premier. Cross to the left. Opportunity here for St. Louis as they enter into the final third. Into the 18. That's canceled out by Clamp.
As well, the way they're moving the ball and great communication as well, seeing them understand where they want the ball to go.
Mikey lay across to Pierce. Pierce up the line on the left, gets it back. Pierce to the end line. Pierce out wide to the right to Yeager, back to Benyard.
It's just exhausting for Florida Premier right now with St. Louis moving the ball so tidily. Florida Premier having to put in a lot of lead work to stick with them.
Free. Back to Benyard, up the right side. Falpel inside to Pierce. Good ball from Pierce. Delkus tried to get going through the middle. Back to Gavin Netzel. Squared into the middle, double team, falls to Boykin. What a tackle to prevent that. Falpel on the right, gets past one, cuts inside, looks for the 1-2. Falpel. Gonzalez has a tough one to control. St. Louis comes away with it. Again, Kai Pope. Down the left side. Turning the corner. Falpel, volley wide. Swung across, Ortiz. Can't beat Kai Yeager. Falpel turns it over. St. Louis on the ball in the attacking half. Kai Yeager. Pierce, great turn. Sharmer chasing him.
And win back possession.
Lay over to the left, Nolan McGuire. Delkus. made that call happen the way that it did. Collision from two St. Louis defenders, but they're still able to deal with it. Delkus this time get turned over. Ortiz pulls it back. Nice patience from Ortiz. Sharmer up the left side. Stuart Vig. Vig cuts inside. Low shot. Benier. Up the line, intercepted. Florida. Hernandez back, but Gonzalez just continued through and blocked the pass back for Delkus. McGuire able to find his way out of trouble. Delkus can't.
They go forward quickly, but he also can't sit back and defend all day. They need to be positive.
Delkus skipping through traffic. Falpel lays it off, shot over the bar. Battle for it at midfield. Pope comes away with it, played through to Delkus. Delkus slips it off the post.
They've had to do to stick and stay with St. Louis and their press and their transition and how they're having to go box to box with the legwork.
Gonzalez takes it away from Pierce, chipped in. Vig, a little late to get well. Right now he's kind of lurking on the top of the 18. In-swinging corner for Florida. Played to the spot. Ortiz, I don't think he saw it till the last minute. Headed forward, easy. Played to the spot. Ortiz, I don't think he saw it till the last minute. Headed forward, easy catch for Kohlberg.
But this counter could be dangerous.
Kohlberg, though, popped it up. Halftime here in Atlanta at Silverbacks Park. No score between St. Louis and Florida Premier. You can see that on the bottom right of the national tournament bracket. We're in the quarterfinal round. Columbus Crew have booked their spot into the national finals first weekend of February. Two other quarterfinals. You can watch both of them on the UPSL YouTube channel this weekend. Make sure you're subscribed to UPSL on YouTube. Back to Silverbacks Park. I am Jason Longshore, joined by Jessica Charman. No score in this one, and we've seen both teams have moments of control. We've seen both teams have moments where they've created danger. How would you rate the first 45?
I would say that 0-0 is a fair scoreline based on the opportunities that the teams have created. I think we know that St. Louis clearly has an identity that they want to play. In moments it's felt a little bit forced, and I think that's been a bit of their downfall at times because they have tried to constantly press, that they lost a little bit of energy. For Florida Premier, I think in their halftime team talk, they'll have probably talked about the fact that at 0-0, they're still very much in the game. They've had to survive moments where they've been shaky, but they've done a good job of doing it. And we saw in those last 10-15 minutes, Jason, Florida Premier turn the screw as they grew in the game. They were the only team to record a shot on target to force a true save out of their opponent's goalkeeper. That should have these teams feeling very, very confident.
I want to pick your brain about this as I check the weather conditions to see where we're at. 29 degrees, feels like 19 here in Atlanta. We talked about this during the break a little bit. We see pressing teams in the Eastern Conference in MLS quite a bit. We see Philadelphia twice a year. We see the Red Bulls twice a year. You saw St. Louis this year. We'll see St. Louis with Atlanta United this year.
I saw Red Bulls 3+ times
Oh, yeah,
this
you
year.
saw multiple times, and you didn't like that last one. One thing that, and they all play it differently, but one thing that I think is consistent with teams that press and play with high intensity, there comes a moment in each half that they hit a wall for at least a period of time I think we saw that late in the first half here today.
I think it coincided with when Florida Premier grew in confidence because they had those legs versus St. Louis, who just sort of held back a little bit towards the end and ran out of that gas. I think that's a moment that Florida Premier will hold in their back pocket. If St. Louis can't capitalize on their energy, on their press within the first 20 minutes of this second half, it may be that Florida Premier is able to grow and take more risks putting bodies forwards when St. Louis's pressure dies off.
Neither team has a deep, deep bench here today, so we'll see how things get going here in the second half. St. Louis knocked out for a goal kick for Florida Premier. We'll also try to keep up with any substitutions that might have happened at halftime. Not seeing any on the initial glance. Be a Florida goal kick here early in the second half. Must be a winner today to advance to the national finals. I don't know if either one of these teams want to play 30 more minutes in these conditions. We'll see if the desperation kicks in as we get later into this as well. St. Louis into the attacking half. Passes behind Boykin. Benier heads it forward. Vig on the far side, able to bring it down. Last touch is off of Vig. Nice defending from Kai Yeager. Obviously, the St. Louis City Academy team, very young, mostly a U18 team. Florida Premier, mostly a young team, but a couple of experienced players over the age of 20 in this group.
And
Gonzalez, one of the younger ones. That's another big tackle from Gonzalez. Florida Premier forced the turnover. Long ball looking for Ortiz. Doesn't get to him. Netzel with just enough of it.
But again, lingering on that back shoulder, we saw Ortiz get more opportunities. He's looking to start the second half the same way.
Great turn from Delkus. Delkus into the 18. Left-footed shot just misses the upper 90. Jackson Delkus with his speed and 1v1 ability. We're starting to see him get going in this one.
It's the closest St. Louis have come all match so far with Delkus there. A good looking angle as we get a second glance. Good physicality and strength and then determination. The minute Delkus has the ball on that flank, he's only looking to go to goal. Just didn't have the angle to whip that one into that top corner.
Ortiz tried to play that one through for Asher Jones. He was second to it. Heavy collision. He's going to get the yellow card. It's Braden Benier who is slow to get back to his feet. The yellow card to Jones.
The linesman on this near side had the best look and indicated to the referee that he thought it was yellow card worthy as well. Now that's a player on each team that's picked up a yellow.
Jones with the yellow for Florida Premier. Netzel with the yellow for St. Louis City. McGuire drops it back, gets it back. Can't turn though. Jones, nice pressure, throw Florida. Londono steps up to take it. Headed forward, Jones heads it into the middle. St. Louis, that one popped up into the hand. Just miscommunication though, going to be a free kick here for Florida.
It's been quite a common theme. We've talked about miscommunication a couple of times with the St. Louis side. I think some of that is to do with the youthful nature of the side as we get a look at the handball that was called. We talk about it. It's two players running into the same space. We saw it defensively a couple of times as well. I'm wondering if that's where Florida Premier has the advantage of having those experienced players you talked about earlier. The couple of players that have been there, done that. You can look to them for that leadership, for that communication. For St. Louis, you've got a lot of young guys that have points to prove, that have talent, but maybe lacking a little bit of that experience and communication.
A little less consistent, too, in terms of the makeup of the team as well with St. Louis. Some of these guys play with the second team, some play in the academy teams. Chipped into the 18, headed away. Going to be a deep throw for Florida.
Just doesn't give you the same amount of time to build that chemistry, camaraderie, understanding when you may see a different team in every game of the UPSL season.
Yeah, these are things that we see with our day-to-day, me with Atlanta United, you with Charlotte FC. When guys come into the second teams, you see those moments where the chemistry isn't there. headed away at the top of the 6. Delkus wants to turn the corner. He does. 2 Florida players collide. Delkus gets back on it. Played through to Boykin. Boykin, good first touch. Got enough of it there, Montague. Florida able to scramble that one out of their defensive third. St. Louis back on it.
Goalkeeper and defender do enough there to combine to just slow the ball down. They don't stop it, they just slow it down enough to recover.
Delkus tried to play another one through to Boykin. That time it's cleared. Jones forces the turnover, can't get around McGuire, going to be out for a St. Louis throw.
Goalkeeper still feeling it as we get another look at this combination. Delkus causing havoc in the back line, leaving 2 defenders rooted. That ball sublime. A great first touch. Tries to dink it with the outside of the boot. Goalkeeper and defender combined for a game-saving save on the line.
That one's blocked by Gonzalez in a very sensitive area. Delkus trying to open up and play that one across. Gonzalez blocked it and paid the price.
Wouldn't understand the pain.
You don't want to.
It's a cold day as well, isn't it, Jason Longshore?
That makes it worse. I immediately winced when I saw that one. Gonzalez has been everywhere in the middle of the park for Florida Premier, getting tackles stuck in, starting counters, been so impressed with his performance.
And I think that was a moment when he was stretching in that first half that Florida Premier had to be holding their breath, because if he had had an injury, if he had had to exit the field, he as that number 6 defensive shield in front of his back line has been so important, but not just defensively. He also has that ability to create going forward with that first pass to break the lines.
Delkus tries to turn. Vig clears. Benyard brings it down. Netzel up the right side. Knocked away. Ortiz has the run of Sharmer. Sharmer able to get into the 18. Sharmer can't get to it, though. St. Louis able to clear that.
Great defensive recovery by St. Louis to swarm Sharma in the 18 and cut off any angle he had towards going to goal. But it's a great looking attack for Florida Premier that will get another glance. It starts with high pressure and turning the ball over. Ortiz on that half spin to just push it forward into Sharma. We've got a little look at the pace that Sharma has as well. But again, St. Louis doing what they do best, getting bodies back to recover. I praised them earlier for how quick they transition forward. Well, the same applies on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Netzel and Benyard just did enough to deny Sharmer a look at goal. Florida has another throw. Trying to find the angle for the cross. They do. Doesn't get to Ortiz. Does get to Jones. Jones back heels, blocked by Delkus. McGuire passes forward to Delkus. Wants to dribble past 2, can't do that. Gets some help from Pope. McGuire trying to get this out. Jones tackled in the 18 cleanly. And St. Louis can break now with Boykin. Boykin down the right side. Faupel. Good ball through. Pierce blocked. Backheeled off of Pierce. Goal kick. Incredible defending there to knock that off of Pierce to earn the goal kick.
Chase Smith with some really cheeky defending there. Innovative, to say the least. We get another look at the penalty claim. It's ball first, then player finds the trailing leg. Nothing there. Chase Smith with some really smart, innovative defending to be able to backheel that off to avoid conceding the corner to St. Louis.
Gutsy defending from Chase Smith. I feel like both teams are starting to take more chances here in the second half. St. Louis, here they come. Netzel calls players off, wants to continue forward. Gives it to Boykin. Gonzalez clears. Delkus. Boykin. Pierce. Into the corner, pulling it back to McGuire. Swung over to the right side by Mikey Lay. Yeager into the 18. Did it take a deflection? Goal kick. Would have been a foul if not a goal kick, in my opinion, as Yeager kind of went through the back of Chase Smith.
Saw St. Louis, though, back to their identity a little bit more. You mentioned they've been a bit flustered in moments as the game opened up. They're stringing together 5, 6, 7 passes before trying to break through. Communication good in that back line for Florida Premier to see that one out of play for the goal kick.
Florida not afraid of playing through the pressure of St. Louis. They play the goal kick short. Sharmer can't bring it down. Collision at midfield. Advantage played. Falpel across to Delkus. Overlapping run from Pierce. Delkus goes inside instead. Lay out wide to Falpel. Falpel can't get down the line. Out for a throw for Florida.
I think the referee's just going to have a little word there with Matias Gonzalez. He wasn't the only one involved in that. I'll make sure I point that out. Gonzalez getting a chat from the referee for the little bit of afters that occurred. It felt like an innocent clash off the ball between the two players. It was the moment that followed in the center circle from that challenge. I think we're going to get a look at it here. It's a misposition by Gonzalez, and it's this moment here that Gonzalez takes issue to.
Yeah, I don't really have an issue with anything Gonzalez did there, to be honest. He was on the ground. The collision's just a 50-50. It happens. And he was the one who kind of got pushed down. There wasn't much in it, and I don't think Gonzalez was trying to make more of it. We'll see how that develops as things go. Gonzalez has been very physical, I think, just in terms of the way he tackles, the intensity. We'll see how that goes the rest of the way. Florida go to the bench. Londono's day is done. Tim Lazorko is the substitution for Florida Premier. Thanks to our producer, Larry Weaver, for helping us out with that one. St. Louis back on it. Pierce, the St. Louis City homegrown up the right side. Chase Smith gets a touch. Sharmer sends it up into the sky, brought down by Netzel. Pope can't control it. Gonzalez sends it back up into the sky. Vig can't control it. Off of Pope. Lazorko back to Vig. That's two of the experienced players for Florida Premier, Lazorko and Vig. They try to combine down the left. St. Louis deals with that. Long ball over everyone. Finds Delkus. Delkus blocked by Montague off his chest. Great play from the goalkeeper. Trying to get chipped. Goal! 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 Kai Pope from way downtown. 1-0 St. Louis City.
Absolutely insane finish from Kai Pope. It's an impossible finish. The goalkeeper does so well here to make the initial block off of his chest. He spins chest or back. But to hit this one first time with that curl as the goalkeeper retreats into the side netting is an absolute world-class finish from Pope.
He knew he had that the moment it left his left foot. Kai Pope from about 40 yards out after a great play from Montague. Couldn't get back into goal in time. Nothing wrong with his effort there. But Kai Pope with a bomb to give St. Louis the 1-0 lead.
You feel bad for Montague because he's made a great save with the initial challenge when he's left absolutely isolated with that beautiful ball forwards. There's nothing he can do. It's just great finishing from Pope, and you saw him peel away the minute after the ball left his boots because he knew that he'd found the back of the net. This, though, a key moment now for Florida Premier. How can they respond to this adversity? We talked a lot about it being a young side, but having some experience on the pitch. This is where you look to those leaders, you look to those experienced players to tell everyone around you, there's still 30 minutes, half an hour, a lot can happen. And before that strike, you haven't really been challenged. You've been the team that's created the best looks going forwards.
That's Florida going forward again now. Vig. That cross is blocked, but he'll take the throw down the line into the corner. I think Delkus got stepped on in that last sequence off the ball, but he's okay. He'll walk it off. We'll get a substitution for Florida Premier. I think Keegan Clamp is coming out. And it's Adam Naeem in. Thrown in. Naeem brings it down. Gonzalez trying to equal Kai Pope's bomb. Pushes that one wide. 61st minute. Let's try to reset here. St. Louis City Academy with the 1-0 lead. Kai Pope with the unassisted goal from about 40 yards out. The initial ball over the top to Delkus was perfection. Delkus denied at the top of the 18 by Montague, but Pope with the rebound puts it into the back of the net, and now we have about 29 minutes with Florida Premier chasing an equalizer.
Be interesting to see how Florida Premier takes more gambles now heading forwards. They know they have to get a goal, and will that leave more space for St. Louis to attack in and behind as they're forced to face bodies forward?
Yeah, I don't think this is a St. Louis team that's going to drop into a shell. That's not the club's identity. So there will be some opportunities. St. Louis City has also gone to the bench. Riley Gibbs into the match for Adam Boykin. That's a like for like at the number 9 position. Delkus. Can't get away this time. Naeem. Deflected. Benyer clears. Lazorko steps up to find it. Vig. Pope got a touch, but Vig able to get a cross in. Just misses Ortiz. Jones trying to find it. Cleared away at the top of the 6. Delkus scuffs it out of the 18. Florida Premier on it with Camacho. Jones tries to lay it off. Nobody home. McGuire clears. Lazorko. Back to Vig. Here comes Florida Premier into the 18. Vig. Blocked. It comes back off of Vig. Goal kick. But unlucky there for Florida Premier.
But when Vig gets forward, we said it in the first half, and it continues to be there. When he's able to get forward, dangerous things happen for Florida Premier. A great opportunity, but again displaying how St. Louis stay organized in the back to still be able to have 2 players swarm inside the 18 to combine to clear that one away.
Goal kick for St. Louis City. They have the 1-0 lead. Kohlberg. Header won by Naeem. Second header falls to Gibbs. Delkus. Now wide to Nolan McGuire. McGuire down the line for Pierce. Camacho's got that marked. Lets it ride. Goal kick Florida. January sun starting to go down here in Atlanta. You're getting the shadows from the trees behind us. St. Louis goal is in shadow now, and they're going to have to defend it here. Ortiz. McGuire gets there first. Kohlberg clears. Naeem wins it. Gonzalez just pops it back over the top looking for Jones. Heads it forward. McGuire, though, can't do much with that. Jones can't find Naeem, the substitute. Camacho. Naeem. Camacho. Received it from Hernandez. Chase Smith. Forward to Gonzalez. Pope knocks it away from him, but Lazorko finds it. His cross behind everybody. Hernandez. Florida Premier pinning St. Louis in, but they can't get a look at goal.
But it's refreshing to see Premier get the ball for this extended phase of play, and you're seeing that they've got the ability to be able to move the ball around tidily.
Doesn't get to Vig that time. Here comes St. Louis. Long diagonal. Camacho heads it down. Hernandez moves it over to Gonzalez. Gonzalez, quick turn. Just a little too much on that one for Stuart Vig to handle.
But it's good to see St. Louis, as you mentioned, Jason, in their identity. They're not going to park the bus. They're not going to sit back and shell, instantly looking to try and attack when they dispossess Florida Premier and look to double that tally to give themselves a bigger cushion. That's a great attitude to have within a team.
They force the turnover at midfield. Can't find Gibbs on that outlet pass, though. Chase Smith up the left side to Vig. He spins inside, loses his footing as he turns. But good pressure here from Florida. St. Louis clears. Gibbs gets a touch, draws contact, earns the foul.
Just late and in behind by Chase Smith there, catches the player late, and you hear right in front of the St. Louis bench, you're never going to see the referee not blow that whistle when it happens so directly in front of the bench.
Yeah, we'll get another look at that here. Yeah, not a ton in it, but it's across the back of the legs. That's going to get that foul every time. Looks like St. Louis preparing a substitute as well. Gibbs, the first substitute, was brought down to earn this free kick. Looks like Kai Pope will be coming out, but at the next opportunity, I believe. Delivered into the 18. Delkus heads it back across. Florida able to clear. Nolan McGuire. 15 games in MLS Next Pro for Nolan McGuire with St. Louis City 2. Steady left back for this St. Louis City Academy team. Here they come down the right. Stepped over that one initially, Pierce, but he was able to find it. Cross deflected, cleared. Ortiz there alone, can't get there in front of Benyer. Florida able to knock that one out for a St. Louis throw. We'll get the substitution now. Nicholas Schramm will enter the match, the 17-year-old. Originally from St. Louis, Scott Gallagher, one of the famous clubs in the area. He's replacing the goal scorer, Kai Pope.
You saw the body language of Kai Pope earlier on when he first saw his number, because it's impossible to miss with the size of the fourth official's board. He saw it two-phase the player go, and you saw that he wasn't too happy, but he's going to trust his coach's decisions as he gets a well-deserved round of applause and a lot of fist bumps for the goal. I mean, it's a world-class goal, and as long as they win, I think he's going to be watching that one back quite a few times tonight.
Yes, I think so. Throw in looking for Pierce, doesn't get to him. St. Louis will keep it, squared over. Netzel. Long down the left, doesn't get to Delkus. Now it does. Knocked forward by the substitute Schramm. Delkus into the 18. Left-footed cross, blocked by Camacho, corner St. Louis.
And Camacho's so important in that back line. He offers that leadership and experience in the CB position, and his positioning's been very, very good in this matchup. That one was a good last-ditch clearance, but yet again, they're going to have to defend a set piece.
El Capi, Gerson, Camacho. Commanding things in the back for Florida Premier. St. Louis will take their time on these set pieces with the 1-0 lead. Schramm, the short option, not played to him, played to the near post instead, headed away. Gonzalez clears. Asher Jones will chase. Jones will get there, but he loses an edge trying to turn the corner. He was helped to the ground, though. Going to be a free kick here for Florida Premier.
Looked like he lost his boot in the downfall there. I think that's why he took a tumble, and the yellow card is shown. Probably a boot that dragged his cleat on the turf. Left it there. We'll get another look at the contact. A yellow card was shown. That's why hard work pays off, though. Asher Jones, workhorse, and a little step on the back of the heel that pulls the cleat off and leads him to go to the ground. Asher Jones turned nothing into something with his work rate there.
Good spot there. I thought Jones had just lost his footing, but Kai Yeager caught him on the heel. Boot went flying. Jones did too, and it's a set piece for Florida Premier in the 70th minute.
talked earlier about the importance of set pieces for this side, particularly when they're not able to see as much as the possession as maybe you would expect. So here they need to utilize this service. They've got everybody but one forward in and around that 18-yard box. Service is absolutely key now.
Adam Naeem will take it. Naeem across, headed away by Benyar. Volley over the bar. Gonzalez got every bit of that one, but it was about a foot high.
But you see the goalkeeper flying there. Kohlberg isn't too sure about how close this one is. We'll get another look at the set piece.
Good service from Naeem, and Gonzalez finds this rebound.
Connects really well, honestly. It wasn't that far off the mark. A difficult technique as he has to strike that one as it's dipping down out of the air. Not too bad of an effort, but not close enough for Premier.
71st minute. St. Louis will play this goal kick long instead and watch the clock tick away. Kohlberg to midfield. Naeem wins the header. McGuire brings it down. Netzel. Gonzalez chasing. Sharmer finds it. Vig. Can't get around the corner on the right. Kai Yeager there to defend. Yeager got that yellow earlier, but good defending there on Vig. Knocks it out for a throw. Yeager defending Vig once again. Cross from Lazorco. Finds Ortiz. Can Ortiz find the lane? No. Drops it back to Gonzalez. Lazorco cleared by Benyar. Sharmer. Chipped to the backside. Nobody home and too much on it. Goal kick.
It's great work from Ortiz inside the 18, trying to find an angle. But when you look, there's 9 white jerseys inside the 18-yard box. Compact defending. We'll get another look here. And St. Louis just filling bodies inside that box, trying to prevent any sort of look for Florida Premier. And that's so frustrating for Premier that they're forced to just swing that cross into no man's land.
St. Louis swarms the ball, and they win it here in attack. Opportunity down the right. Falpel puts it into the middle, but Delkus can't get over the top of it. Out for a goal kick.
Speed of transition, though, yet again, straight from that goal kick up the other end of the pitch. We get another glance at how quickly they transition. 2v2. You see Camacho try the little tug there. That's professionalism. You might not like it. It might be the dark arts, but it does enough to throw the run. And I think that takes away from the stride that maybe adds to the way that he isn't able to connect with that one to keep it on frame.
I thought Delkus was going to get over that one, but just enough. Again, contact without committing the foul from Camacho.
Call it experience, right? I think he might have done that one or two times before.
Probably. St. Louis back on it. You mentioned the 9 shirts inside their 18 and around their 18. They just swarmed the ball so well, but they do look to get out. I think they'd much rather find goal number 2 than protect a 1-0 lead for 20 more minutes. Falpel rode off the first challenge, but then dove in trying to find the ball the second time and fouled Vig. '74th minute, St. Louis with the 1-0 lead on the Kai Pope golazo.
Here's that foul, I believe, that led to this free kick here, as you mentioned, Jason. Just a little bit late. Vig knows what he's doing, earning the free kick.
Sharmer skips past the challenge of Benyar. Sharmer, edge of the 18. Sharmer skips between 2. Not enough there for the penalty. Camacho at midfield. Gonzalez. Naeem. Back to Camacho. We'll get another look at that penalty shout, but I didn't think there was enough in it either.
Not based on the way this game's been refereed, and we talk about it at every level of the game. You have to learn to adjust to the way the referee is calling the game. You can't go down there. He's not going to give it. Try and stay on your feet and get a better opportunity.
Gonzalez is able to slide in, win the challenge, win the throw. So impressed with Matias Gonzalez today. I think he is about 8 for 10 on his defensive duels.
And I think he's winning the mental duel as well.
Yeah.
You just saw as he span away, and you saw the little smile at the St. Louis bench of saying, I've won that duel 9 times out of 10.
Vig out wide to Lazorko. Drops it back to Gonzalez. Big cross doesn't get to doesn't get to Jones. It's intercepted by Kohlberg. McGuire has Delkus out wide. Tries to find the through ball. Hernandez able to outrun Delkus that time. Montague clears. Vig fighting for it. Doesn't win it. Delkus lays it off. Naeem gets a touch. Jaeger can't keep it. Vig battling for it, but a heavy touch, and it's knocked off of Vig. Throw St. Louis. Substitution for St. Louis. Eddie Stewart checking into the match. And he's replacing Anthony Faupel. Faupel headed to Virginia in the fall. Eddie Stewart headed to Cornell. Nice footwork from Kai Jaeger. Benier clears. Delkus has moved over to the right side now. Stewart on the left side of the St. Louis front three.
That'll be an interesting battle between Delco and Lazarco. Experience versus youth. It's going to be a strong physical challenge on that far side.
St. Louis free kick. Smart from St. Louis to have a debate about where the free kick should be placed. Clock ticking away.
Also changed the kick taker a couple of times.
Yeah, you know. Chipped into the 18. Montague goes up to grab it. Looks for the outlet. Maybe slice that a little bit into the middle. Ortiz makes something of it. Clearance, though, well dealt with by St. Louis. Delkus cuts inside. Gonzalez chasing him. Gonzalez late with the tackle that time. No call, though. Thought that time he caught him. Chase Smith. Intercepted by Kai Jaeger. St. Louis trying to combine in the middle. Can't find their way through this Florida midfield. Now it's Florida trying to build out of the back. I think both teams are a little tired, also a little cold. Feels like the temperature's dropped about 5 degrees since we've been here. Naeem. Gonzalez. Florida needs to find a goal. Gonzalez looking for it. Laid off to the outside. 1-2 back to him. Gonzalez slides and slots it wide. Nearly pulled that off. Matias Gonzalez, but couldn't get enough to direct that shot on goal.
Matias Gonzalez single-handedly trying to put this team on his back in moments, though. He gets the attack started. Great drive forward here by Gonzalez. You see him on the ball here, looking instantly for the 1-2 connect. It's just put a little ahead of him, so he can't connect fully cleanly.
Stuart Vig checking out of the match for Florida Premier. Florida Premier with a substitute that's not on our sheet, unfortunately.
Definitely the most popular player with the fans down in front of us, though.
Yes. St. Louis on the ball. Pierce. Intercepted by Lazorko. Here comes Florida Premier down the left. 80th minute. Trailing 1-0. Cross deflected. St. Louis able to come away with it. Riley Gibbs. Looking for Pierce, knocked away from him. Multiple players down, getting back to their feet. Florida Premier on the ball. Braden Montague. Going to be a frantic finish here as Florida's chasing an equalizer. Montague straight down the middle. Over Jones's head, headed away by McGuire. Throw for the black and gold, but first a substitution. Tyler Sargent checking in. Jackson Delkus checking out. Really felt like Delkus turned the game in the second half for St. Louis.
Yeah, Delkus gave everything on the pitch and well deserves the 10 minutes of extra break that he's going to get here because his work rate's been impressive. His vision on the game, really special as well, and had an involvement in a lot of the positive stuff that St. Louis have done in this second half.
Naeem fouled. Going to be a free kick here for Florida Premier. Naeem will take the free kick in the 81st minute. Curled to the backside, header over the bar. I believe it was Aiden Sharmer who got his head to it but couldn't get over it. Oh, it was Gonzalez who got to it. Should have guessed he's everywhere.
Told you. He's trying to do everything on this team. We'll get another look here at the delivery. It's a decent ball in, curling towards that back post. Gonzalez gets up, but just from that distance, always going over the crossbar.
Gonzalez, a high school junior, playing like a seasoned professional today. So impressed with the number 9 for Florida Premier. He's going to have to find some magic to level this one. McGuire passed into the middle. St. Louis trying to get out of their own half. Can't do it. Camacho intercepts. Over the head of Ortiz. Just a little too much on that one from Camacho.
Good work from the goalkeeper to just trickle some seconds there. Smart soccer IQ to save the ball with his boots and dribble it around.
Colberg came to the St. Louis City Academy from Panathinaikos, St. Louis. Jones chips it forward to Ortiz. Can he turn? Has the overlapping run. Ortiz pulls it back himself. Can't get the pass off.
Just a little bit too much from Ortiz there. One touch too many. Should have found the overlapping run from the unnamed player on our sheet.
Benyer wants to let this one ride. Will, going to be a goal kick for St. Louis in the 83rd minute. Full credit to the Florida Premier families making the trip here and making some noise for their team. Goal kick for St. Louis. Free kick for St. Louis. Push in the back. '84th minute now. Gavin Netzel. Too much on that one. Going to be a goal kick for Florida Premier, but the clock is moving. 84th minute now. Daniel Munroy will be checking into the game for Aiden Sharmer.
So they're just trying to bring in those fresh legs to boost the tempo. And what they're doing here is trying to push forward Tim Lazarco by bringing on another defender. We're seeing Lazarco transition further up the pitch to play on that flank.
Lazarco kind of taking the place of Vig earlier. Headed into the middle. St. Louis win it momentarily. Naeem. Pierce flicks that back. Yeager slices it forward. It's enough. Gonzalez can't find the handle. Get some help from Chase Smith. Lazorco touches it out wide. St. Louis able to clear. Late now, getting pretty simple in this one. St. Louis trying to get it forward as quickly as possible. So is Florida. St. Louis just doesn't want to have to defend in their own half. They're going to have to now throw for Florida. Kind of both teams getting direct at this point. Florida with the interception. Lazorko, Jones, Ortiz can't get the shot off. Kai Yeager with the clearance.
And this is where St. Louis is having that advantage of being able to get those bodies back defensively. Ortiz with the heavy tired touch and instantly 3 white jerseys around him. Looked like the throw had originally been awarded towards St. Louis, and Florida Premier trying to get any advantage they can get. Don't blame them for trying to take the throw quickly.
And St. Louis isn't going to stop and say, oh, no, let us take that throw right now.
A couple of seconds off the clock.
Run. Yep. Long throw for City, flicked forward. Monroy pops it back down the left side. Gonzalez. I think he draws the throw, not the foul. Extra little shove there at the end, though, that was unnecessary.
Just a really painful landing for Gonzalez as he goes up and over the defender that challenges him and lands flat on his back. We'll have another glance here. Gonzalez just trying that little reverse move, and a physical challenge pushes him to the ground.
Yeah, I think he had earned the throw and then was shoved down. Really not sure why that shove occurred. Wasn't necessary in that moment. Lazorko gets a yellow card, I think, for also shoving a St. Louis player and maybe continuing
Might
with
have happened
the descent.
once, twice, or maybe 3 times.
Yeah, but I don't think the St. Louis player who shoved Gonzalez
And
got a
that's right.
yellow.
And Lazarko's just trying to defend his player there.
Yeah, yeah.
It was all out of protecting the player that's down on the ground and getting the players away from him. So the issue there is the lack of consistency. If you're going to give a yellow for the push, you've got to give it to both players.
And the captain, Camacho, came over. I think that was the point he was making. Thrown in, popped up, headed forward. Easy, though, for Kohlberg to deal with. Into the 88th minute now. Florida Premier running out of time to continue on to the national semifinal. St. Louis City Academy with the 1-0 lead and the ball at midfield. Lazorko. Naeem. Chase Smith. I think our cameras might be freezing up a little bit. We'll try to continue a little radio-style commentary as best we can. That's behind Hernandez. Going to be a throw for St. Louis City. And yes, I meant the double meaning of cameras freezing up. Like I said, I feel like the temperatures dropped about 5 degrees here since we started this.
My toes would tend to agree with you, Jason Longshore.
Yeah, I think I still have toes, but I'm not sure. Thrown in down the line. Gibbs wants to turn. Camacho defending. Gibbs fouls him.
That's the experience from Camacho there to turn a difficult situation for himself into a free kick for his side.
89th minute now. Hernandez cuts inside. Good work on the ball from Hernandez. Almost got through the last one. Able to be cleared. Camacho steps in front to intercept. Can he get through the middle? No. Monroy knocks it forward. Gonzalez pops it down the line looking for Ortiz in the middle. Doesn't get to him. Pierce goes down to draw the foul. Well, he gets it. I believe that was Sargent instead of Pierce. Last substitution for Florida Premier. You'd mentioned Ortiz has given everything he's got. He's just out of gas. Last roll of the dice for Florida with their last sub.
Gavin Spooler with the responsibility to lead that line for the last few minutes now, pressing everything.
Headed forward. Asher Jones switches it across to Lazorko. 90th minute. We'll see how much stoppage time we get. Sounds like it's going to be 3 minutes. Camacho to Smith, up the line to Lazorco. Back inside to Gonzalez. He's able to flick it forward. Lazorco slides, can't control it. Gonzalez slides, blocks that.
Gonzalez cramping up after that one as well. Stayed down after the challenge.
Yeah, he flew into that, just trying to prevent that ball being played up the line.
He's given absolutely everything, and you're seeing it after getting out of that challenge, just holding his calves a tad bit.
It's one of the rare times, and no disrespect to the individual performances from St. Louis City, but Matias Gonzalez might be the man of the match in a losing performance. He's been that good. Still work to do here. Monroy blocked. Able to find Naeem. And now Gonzalez. Can he get this up the line? It's blocked. Going to be a throw for Florida. Lazorco takes it quickly. Spooler. And it's brought back. Is it a St. Louis throw?
Did he give a foul throw?
I can't believe that would be a foul throw called in that moment. But I don't know what else it would have been.
The only thing I can think is a foul throw.
I think it was thrown too far forward, so it is a Florida throw, but they have to take it again.
Whew.
Still a little surprised by that, but we'll see if that time is added back. We're into the 92nd minute now. Should be 2 minutes to go. Spooler. Down the line on the left. Crossed in. Camacho's forward, but he can't get to it. Kohlberg gathers it in.
Important by Kohlberg, and doing as every goalkeeper does in these moments, and taking a little bit longer to get back to his feet, pulls it out.
Over to the right to Kai Yeager. Yeager's been very good on the right side for St. Louis. Draws a foul. Clock will continue to tick away from Florida here.
Lazorco again getting involved with that foul. I'll just say, if there was a little bit longer in the match, I'd be slightly worried about a second yellow for him.
You're at that point where that's not really a concern now. St. Louis City long into the hands of Montague. 65 seconds to go, maybe a little bit more. We're in second half stoppage time. St. Louis trying to make Kai Pope's golazo hold up. Blocked by Naeem. Jones pops it forward, cleared. Florida with an attacking half throw. Less than a minute. Jones knocked away from him by McGuire, cleared. Throw Florida.
Give a shout out to the man in the stands for Florida that's really trying to act as a ball boy here.
That's smart. Flicked back, Netzel into the corner to McGuire. Florida inviting the pressure. McGuire knocks it off of Jones for a throw. Great work by Nolan McGuire there. Didn't get frantic, didn't get hassled. Knocked it off of Asher Jones to earn a deep throw.
You just see Florida trying to pin them in now from this throw-in. Can they force one last turnover and create a chance?
We're past the 3 minutes. This is probably the last sequence of the match. St. Louis wins it. Gibbs down the right side to Tyson Pierce. Pierce with the cross. St. Louis into the 18. Back across to Pierce. Shot blocked, falls to Gibbs. Gibbs, shot, big save from Montague. But that will do it. St. Louis City Academy make it to the national semifinal on Kai Pope's second half goal. St. Louis defeats Florida Premier 1-0.
A huge battle between two very talented young sides, Jason. It was always going to take something special to separate the two. A fantastic goal, the difference between these two sides. But the work rate from Florida Premier deserves that shout out. They'll feel hard done by to not have been able to grind out an opportunity to get this game into overtime. But St. Louis showing that maturity that we asked of them once they scored that goal to see out the result, and they do so with the clean sheet.
Final thoughts on Florida Premier. Their season in UPSL ends here, the spring season right around the corner. This is a young team. They showed a lot of composure and I think a lot of really good play here in a very evenly matched game.
When you went through the ages of this roster and you talk about high school juniors, high school seniors, a few experienced players, but mostly high school players, that's what UPSL is about. It's about giving young players opportunities to play against strong, experienced, former pros and different levels. And I think they've done a fantastic job. They're going to have an axe to grind. They're going to be disappointed to have fallen at this hurdle and not got the opportunity to head to California for the semifinals. That being said, when you have a team that's core is so young and you single out Matias Gonzalez, a junior in the classroom at high school, that's so impressive to know you've got this core group that's going to come back with a point to prove next season.
Obviously, St. Louis City also very young. You're seeing more and more Major League Soccer academies put teams in. It's essentially St. Louis City 3 in a lot of ways. An academy team. They'll go on to face the Columbus Crew Academy team in the national semifinal. But this St. Louis team, so impressive today to grind out a win.
They found the perfect combination of the St. Louis style of the high press and the double teaming and the counterattack, but also a willingness to play to the strength of the players in this team. I was really impressed with their willingness to play out the back, of how quickly they could switch the point of attack from defensive duties to attacking duties. Really impressive. And again, UPSL, MLS sides are seeing the benefits of putting their academies in to test them, to get them ready for MLS Next Pro, to get them ready for potential first-team careers. And it's singling out, and that's going to be one battle against the Columbus Crew and St. Louis academies.
We'll show you the winning goal in just a minute. Actually, yeah, we'll show you in just a minute. Let's show it in just a minute because I think we're going to get this trophy presentation in record time. This is what happens when it feels like about 15 degrees out here and the air temperature is actually at about 25. Not going to waste any time in getting St. Louis City their trophy and their medals. Maybe I was speaking optimistically. I think we are going to take a little bit of time. Let's see that goal from Kai Pope. This is what decided the match. The ball over the top for Jackson Delkus, perfect. The play from the goalkeeper, Braden Montague, also perfect. You can't hit a ball better than that from Kai Pope, though.
It's the way it curls. It comes straight off of that boot and spins in to the side netting. It's brilliant. And as I said in the game broadcast, he knew. The minute he left his boots, he's already wheeling around to celebrate. It's one of those where you hit it so sweet, it's always going to be a goal.
St. Louis City moving on to the national Final Four in California the first weekend in February. They will face the Columbus Crew Academy in one half of the bracket. St. Louis advancing in the bottom right. Columbus has already played their way in, winning their quarterfinal 2-1 in the upper right. This weekend, you will have the other quarterfinals. Napa Valley 1839 FC facing Chiriaco and Indios Denver facing Foro SC. Both of those games will be on the UPSL YouTube channel. Your Southeast champions, St. Louis City SC. This kind of performance, Jess, it kind of fit with the St. Louis ethos of being the collective. You had lots of good individual performances, but it was about the overall group that got the job done.
And I think you saw that on the field when it came to defending and attacking. It was always about getting the group together, whether it be the comments about having 9 white jerseys back defensively or somehow being able to create 4v3 overloads from your goal kick where you push forward that quickly. It's about understanding the philosophy of the team, the togetherness, the camaraderie, and you're seeing it in the moments here as they celebrate with each other. This is truly a team, and St. Louis has always set out that philosophy since arriving in MLS and MLS Next Pro with the success they've seen already at those levels. It's not necessarily about having a big-name star or a show-stopping player. It's about everybody being 1,000% bought into the system, and you will see success that way.
Dominating the transition moments, that's a St. Louis hallmark. And you mentioned so many players from the St. Louis area. St. Louis Scott Gallagher, the Lou Fuse Athletic Club, also St. Louis FC. So many local clubs providing these players to St. Louis City and creating a very, very strong academy straight out of the gates. This is the third year of the academy program. They've already got a UPSL national semifinal now. They already have 3 homegrowns at the Major League Soccer level. We saw Tyson Pierce today. Might be going straight away to join St. Louis City's first team preseason group. We'll see if that happens. He might go with the group to try to win a UPSL national title as well. Such a credit to the club that has been built in St. Louis. And they will be moving on to the UPSL National Semifinal to face the Columbus Crew. A 1-0 win here for St. Louis City Academy. Kai Pope, second half goal, holds up. And Mikey Lay gets the trophy in his hand. St. Louis City, your Southeast champions in UPSL for the fall 2023 season. They'll move on to face Columbus in a couple of weeks out in California. Hopefully warmer conditions than they had to deal with here today. For everybody with Atlantic Soccer Media Group, for Jessica Charman, I'm Jason Longshore, signing off on the UPSL YouTube channel. St. Louis City moving on to the Final Four.
This has been a presentation of the UPSL. Any use of this broadcast without the written consent of the Atlantic Soccer Media Group is prohibited.